the excitement of a national election. This was the country's first test of unity. At stake was membership in Nigeria's Federal House of Representatives. Seats were apportioned on a population basis, with the northern region, because of its size, dominating the parliamentary body. As election day neared, thousands of ballot boxes were assembled, each carrying the symbol of a party, the name of a candidate. The voters were carefully instructed to cast their ballots by box and symbol. On election day, in towns and hamlets, 8 million Nigerians went to the polls. All adult men and women were eligible to vote, and 25,000 polling stations were set up across the country. As part of the registration procedure, each of the voters had his or her index finger painted with green ink to prevent anyone from casting more than one ballot. As in the United States, voters went to the polls in their own electoral districts. When the returns were posted, a coalition government had been elected, dominated by representatives from the northern region. The Igbos of the East accepted the results grudgingly. Prime Minister Balewa continued to lead the government on the basis of his broad electoral support and his wide appeal among the people of the fragmented nation. Having achieved independence and a shaky truce among its three major regions, Nigeria turned now to the problems of poverty in the rural and underdeveloped areas of the country. With the help of foreign investment, Nigeria and her people began to harness their natural resources. The country continued to be one of the fastest developing of all the emerging African states. A giant dam was built astride the mighty Niger River, and power from the project became the means of bringing change and progress to towns and villages for miles around. Textile mills and industrial plants throbbed to the rapid pulse of a quickening economy. Nigeria seemed a shining example of enlightened self-rule. But behind the outward signs of peace and progress, of free speech and free press, there was deep division. Prime Minister Balewa came under attack, and in January 1966, newspapers told of his murder by 5 Eastern Army officers. 6 months later, in a counter-coup, Northerners regained control of the federal government. Attempts to reconcile the feuding factions proved futile, and on May 30th, 1967, the Republic of Biafra, embracing the eastern region of Nigeria, was proclaimed. The breakaway province was immediately invaded by Nigerian army forces, and a bitter civil war began. In Enugu, capital of Biafra, Colonel Ojukwu, an Oxford graduate and former governor of the eastern region, became the leader of the embattled republic. Accusing the federal government in Lagos of attempting to annihilate the Igbos, Ojukwu told the world, "We are not only fighting for our independence, but for our survival as a people." The 8 million Biafrans were hopelessly outnumbered. They trained with wooden guns. They drafted women in their makeshift army. And though they fought with fierce determination, their military position worsened month by month. Within a year, Biafran territory had shrunk to less than 1/3 of its original size. The Nigerian army fought with a full arsenal of modern weapons supplied by England, Russia, and other European countries. The advance of the government forces was ruthless and relentless. The Biafran capital of Enugu fell. Military defeats were followed by starvation and famine. Outgunned and outnumbered, the soldiers of the secessionist province have vowed to fight to the end. But the military struggle has become secondary to what will happen to the men, women, and children who survive. Already 1,000 Biafrans a day are dying of starvation. Famine is causing brain damage in countless children and threatening an entire nation. This is the price of a war that it seems will bring no real victory to anyone.
The Spring News Digest, Living History in the Classroom, was brought to you by the Eastman Kodak Company.